have you not seen that in America?
Yeah. So they've got something in meat only has to have 6% actual meat in America.
No, they've just passed a thing in America to start producing man-made meat.
What, is it grown in a lab? Okay. I mean, I don't have anything against that, but I was watching a podcast again when someone was talking about would you eat laboratory grown meat or normal meat if it was identical in taste, flavour. If it was identical in taste, flavour, like if you couldn't tell the difference, would you eat it? I mean, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's identical, if it's like they're growing human ears on mice, that's still a really grown ear. It's just not grown on a person.
Yeah.
So you put that in that person, they've got an ear again. Fine. If they're growing meat, it's grown from flesh and tissue and the cultures that you need to grow flesh and tissue. But it's real meat. It's just not grown on an animal, so you haven't killed the animal.
But it was put through. It was put through during that. You know the sub that imploded, Voyager thing. The one that went down to see the Titanic and killed everyone.
I don't remember this anyway.
Just recently.
I don't remember it. I didn't see it.
Didn't you hear about the sub?
I spend all my time watching YouTube videos on how to make YouTube videos.
So you never knew about the sub that basically crushed fucking 5 people to death?
No.
Because it's right. So they went down to see the Titanic, and they said they went down. They haven't seen it. Lost contact with them. It was only literally a month, 2 months ago. Big thing all over TikTok, everything like. Someone was trying to push through a thing. He's saying basically, whilst this was a distraction for them to put through this thing so they can do thingy meat. Because no one heard about it. It wasn't on the news. It wasn't something that you sat there and went, oh, the US government have just decided to pass a whatever they call it.
I don't think it's a really big thing, though.
I think it would be. I mean...
The only people that are going to whinge about it are people that are going to whinge about wanting real animals to eat. And I'm happy to eat real animals because, they're real. But I'm also, if all we had in the supermarket, or if it was the same price, taste, flavour, everything like that, I wouldn't really care. I mean, obviously, first time I go, I'll try it. And if it did, in fact, replicate everything, I wouldn't really care. I mean, unless there was if it was significantly cheaper, or they said we're not going to use real animals anymore, and you had no choice, again, it wouldn't bother me. I mean, in the future, it might be that we haven't got enough farming ability, so we need to make it.
Do you think that maybe that's what they're looking at now?
Well, of course. Everything that I think the scientists are looking towards is the future of humans. That's what the scientists do. They look to how to make the future better, and they can see that we're running out of various resources. We're running out of various space. As the human population grows, the planet's running out of shit. Think like the battery.
But do you not think it's more to have more control? If you can grow it and you can think... Do you know what I mean?
No, I don't think
people can't live off the land if there's nothing there.
Well, they can still choose to live off the land.
What if there's nothing left? What if they go?
Well, then they can't, can they? So they need someone to fucking grow it. Basically, if you've got 10 people and in a house you've got 10 meals, right? Those 10 people can have those 10 meals. It's fine.
Yeah.
If you've got 100 people and you've got 10 meals, well, either 90 of them are fucked or everyone's going to get not enough.
Yeah.
So it's the same with the planet. If you've got 8 billion people, which we're getting to now, I think, 7.5 billion, something like that. We've got fields, fine. If we get to, as more people are alive, the increase in numbers is going to go faster because more people will be having babies. It's not just like it increases in linear. It's going to go until someone says no fucking more babies.
Yeah.
Right? So when we get to 20 billion people,
yeah,
the food that we've got now that's sustaining the 8 billion is going to be a bit sparse. We're all going to be on it. It'll cure fat people. I mean, yeah, increase the population, cure fat. That's fine. But it will make life it won't be any luxury. So, yes, they're going to need to produce ways to keep up with the demand of feeding people. Also, not to mention, and it's a valid argument, there are parts of farming that take up a lot more space than they really need to if they can do it in a lab.
Yeah, but then that takes away the farming industry, doesn't it? You think they don't earn their money?
Yeah, it does. But at the same time, we're running out of space for some countries don't have space for people to live. I know there are lots of countries with loads of space. Thing like the UK here, a lot of the space in the UK, and it's a tiny country, is farmland. Soon we're not going to have anywhere to put homes.
There's some sort
And also, they're slowly getting rid of the farmland because people are building homes on it. Everywhere I see in my little rural life, the developments popping up. So eventually there won't be any farmland, so you're going to have to grow it in a lab. You're going to have to fucking fly it up into the clouds and have some big, like, shield styles.
Oh, you're not talking about Elysium, that film Elysium was called.
I mean, someone thought of it because it's a possibility in life. No, Elysium was like the world we can't live on, so we have to live up there. I'm just talking about sending...
No, the rich people live up there.
Sending some shit into the sky, like the farmland. You know. We've got no space on the ground anymore. It's got to...
Just send the cows up. What the fuck?
Have a hover, yeah.
Pigs can fly.
They have to now. There's no space on the ground for them. See, I've got no issue with lab-grown food. I mean, if they can make it good and real and it's nutritious and doesn't... that's the other thing they're saying a lot about is that our farmed food isn't as nutritious because the farmland is farmed so much that the soil doesn't get a chance to replenish. So there's less nutrients going into the food.
It's like mass production, like where they're all just sat in cages.
And they make lots of mashed potato.
Mashed potato.
You said mashed production.
Mass production.
Matt's production.
Matt's production, yeah. Where they're all just stuck in cages and that.
So you don't like laboratory food?
I've never had laboratory food.
I know, but you seem like you didn't like the idea of it.
I just think it's very... Do you not think that's...
What, woo?
Well, how do you know what they're putting in it?
Well...
You don't.
Yeah, but how do you know what they're putting in your fucking Monster that you drink?
I don't.
Exactly. You drink plenty of those every day. That burger you just ate... probably didn't even come from a real animal.
Yeah, it did.
That one you ate, it looked like it came from a place that would use one of those. If it was classified as meat, it's only just.
Nah, it was a meat.
Point is, if they're growing something in a laboratory, in the UK at least, what they put on a package has to be true. They can't lie.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So
well,
they can embellish.
I mean, you say that. We found traces of horses' meat in food, and
I think in the UK that was an accident. It wasn't on purpose.
Yeah, back him in. Yeah, not Stanley. No, fuck all the horses in the meat now. What do you mean there's accident? You can't go just, hang on, that's not a pig. Fucking chuck him in anyway.
Yeah, but some of the suppliers, they get their stuff from one place and one place and one place, and if there's a mix-up somewhere along the line, because people are idiots, then
but what, so there's not production of horse meat, is there?
It's actually quite healthy.
Yeah, I know that, but how did you get that mixed up?
No, I don't know. It was a one-off.
It was in a one-off?
Well, a one-off situation.
That we know about.
Anyway, they eat loads of horse meat in France. So we just had to get a French delivery by accident. Anyway, the point is, if they have various guidelines they have to follow too. So if they say we've grown this steak in a lab, it's 98% as close as it. Then chances are it's going to be at least 98% as close as it can be to the original steak.
Yeah. Get that?
And also, people they're trying to make a business model here, right? They're trying to make something they can make in a lab and sell it. If they make it shit and people don't buy it, then they haven't got business, have they? They waste all that money. So they have to make it good enough that people will buy it and eat it.
Well,
and survive.
Well, they push it, won't they? If you've got hunger and stuff,
yeah.
Unfortunately, people will start eating their shit.
It'll be 2 minutes before some bodybuilder influencer comes out and goes, "Oh, my body's, look at me, I've lost all my muscle because I was eating this grown in a lab steak and it didn't have the protein quality it needed, and I was told it did." Sure as shit, they would have just been on a 20-month fasting, so just to lose all the weight to make the story up. Or they would have had that one of those lab steaks a month as all they ate to prove. And they would have said, "I only ate these lab steaks, I lost all my muscle."
So you're easily say that someone will just say that to do that, yeah?
Yeah.
So how do you know the companies aren't doing the shit?
No, there's different companies.
Why can't they? Because listen, the
hierarchy.
Do you really think that these higher government, they follow guidelines? And Boris, swear he got fined for breaking our
Boris
guidelines.
Isn't making mistakes.
No, but they're behind it. All the government are behind it.
Yeah, but the government are. But the companies making stuff, they have to be what is on the label. Is in the UK has to be what's in the product. Otherwise, they're legally in shit.
Prove it.
What do you mean prove it?
Prove it.
That's the law.
No, but prove the ingredients are in that
Someone
thing.
will just do a lab study. They get tested all the time.
And they disappear.
Yeah, so they can't be on the market, can they?
But
Other countries, they're not so strict. You know, they can lie about advertising, but in the UK, they have to. What they say has to be the truth. Now, it can be very barely the truth. So when it says high protein content on these things, it's not really a high amount of protein. It's just 1 gram higher than the original item.
right.
But it's advertising tricks. But it's still, to the letter, it has to be what it says on the label.
And you trust that 100%.
It's the law.
We've just established that they don't listen to the law.
No, some people break the law, but when they're found out, they get caught. So what's better? Risk your business model and get caught for a short-term profit, or stick to the law and keep your business going for decades?
Yes, but not all people think about that.
No, most people think about that. That's how businesses last.
Yeah, to the average business owner. But when you've got governmentally funded, government run,
But they're not government-run food providers. They've got all the branding products out there that you buy food off of. They're not run by the government.
of course, some of them are.
No, they're not.
They're going to be back. Yes, they are.
They're all private companies.
They're going to be. They've got to be backed and
Why do they? They're just private companies.
because they're pushing what they this.
Go on, carry on.
Do you not think that they, like
Well,
with everything
okay, name
being
me a
pushed?
company that makes food that's backed by the government.
You would never know.
Well, how do you know?
How do you know? I'm saying it's a. I'm not saying I
private
definitely know, but you say a private company,
Heinz
right? Okay,
is a private company that makes various food items.
and you think no one's got their fingers in it.
What?
No one's got their fingers in that. Like,
From the government?
yeah, no one's got control. Whatever. Any food value. How do you know? How do you know? You don't know.
Well, the government, maybe a particular person has got an investment in it, but the government itself has no control over what Heinz do other than stipulating the law that they have to adhere to.
But you know what they're trying to put? Like, you heard about the Great Reset, yeah?
I've heard of the term the Great Reset.
Right.
but-
So you know what they're trying to push for? They're trying to eradicate cash completely, take it away. Yeah.
Who?
The government trying to push the world order, whatever they call it, the world order, they've met to push this new system. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know
The system of banking which they control. So basically, they're going to be telling you, right? You have and you can look it up. It's been they'll be telling you you've got to eat. You can only eat. You know, they'll control your money basically, and it's not like money; it'd be credits, like vouchers. So your way of buying things is through this.
Well,
If you eat too many big fucking burgers, you're not going to be able to buy anything. You can't buy any burgers. You can only buy a certain amount of foods, certain different categories of food to stay.
Who says this?
This is a world. Listen,
Who said this?
this is a big. It was all over. Mate, do you live in a bubble?
Yeah, no, I follow finance and digital finance and world politics. I don't follow conspiracy theories.
It's not. No, it's
and
not.
Voodoo, woo,
It's not-
lad Bible news stories.
Hang on.
The main thing in finance and the politics at the moment is they're trying to argue about cryptocurrency because they're
No.
worried that it will decentralize their ability to look after where your money goes. But that's too late. Cryptocurrency exists and you can't get rid of it unless they destroy the internet.
It's the G7. That's at the end of G7. Right. That's the world. You know, the world thing. The people that met. Just trying to find it. And they were talking about how they put it all into one. So it's like one big bank, basically. And everyone is given credits. So basically,
I've heard the idea that you've put across.
and it's to take out. I can't remember. I've got to find it.
I mean, it's never going to happen, that idea. Because no one will live by it.
But they're trying to push it. They're
Who?
really trying to push it. They got like the G7. They've all met. It was during like COVID as well that they all met.
I'll look into it. I don't think it's a real thing. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think anybody would follow it. All it would do if it was a thing is divide the world into two people. Most of the governments that tried to enforce that would lose anybody that followed them.
Banking digital gov.uk. It's on the Gov website.
Okay, but again, the majority of the people of the world will not follow that system. They will not lose the power of their own finances.
No, they're trying. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to push it. And
the problem with government is selected by the masses. So people select these governments, and they have to do what they want for the people to follow them. So if you try and say to the people, we're going to make you have no control over your own money, the people are going to go, fuck you, and ignore you. And that's where you get the governments removed. And the other government will go, oh, we realise that the people don't want that, they want something else, so we'll offer that. And then people, if they're nice and it's pleasant, they'll vote them in. If it's not nice, then you get people taking up arms against the governments.
Yeah, well, because it's saying, look, so G7 has today published a set of public policy principles for retail central bank digital currencies, CBDC, alongside the G7 finance ministers and the central bank governors' statement of the CBDCs. And digital payments, CBDCs could be digitally form of central bank money that could be used alongside physical notes and coins. The decision whether to launch a CBDC for each country to make it, and no G7 jurisdiction has made this choice. It raises important questions about the way in which people interact with money and payments. The report covers a range of important matters such as financial stability, operational resilience, and cybersecurity, energy efficiency, privacy, inclusion, and tackling illicit finance.
Okay, so
illicit finance. Sorry.
What I think you're describing here is the fact that all the governments don't like cryptocurrency because that's removing the government.
They don't like cash, mate.
No.
They want to get.
It's not about cash. The government have a control over the banking system. So the bank relies on the government relies on the bank to operate the world, and they got that element of control over the cost of things. Now, cryptocurrency is taking that away from their control, and it's by the people, the masses that use cryptocurrency decide the price and the value of things. That's why it's still up in the air, but it's not controlled by any one central government. That's why it's called decentralized, because it's literally controlled by the market and the price they're willing to pay for the cryptocurrency. That story is about the governments trying to create a sort of government-sanctioned cryptocurrency. It's not saying that they're going to. Not saying they're going to control how many burgers you can buy. It's saying that you have to use this digital currency.
Yeah, and the thing
instead
is
instead of hard currency. The problem that they've missed out on is the fact that we already have our hard currency as digital because it's all online now.
In that proposal, you need to read down. It is actually in there. I remember because it's saying about it. It is saying about it will. They can freeze your credit straight away. They can do if they think
they can do that already.
And they can but they can monitor what you're buying food wise
already.
Yeah, but they're not. But do they do it? This is meant to be tackling obesity and things like this. But it isn't. It's just going to be a form of control.
Literally, all of your banking is done online right now.
Yeah.
Right. That's it. They can already monitor everything that you do. There's no difference.
Yes, it is because they don't have control. If they started freezing your bank account for no reason,
they can already freeze your bank.
They can freeze it, but they have to have legit reasons.
No,
they really do.
They can just be investigating you. But saying that you bought too many burgers is a legit reason.
No. But they don't want you buying. They're saying healthy food, like.
They can't control.
You really need to read it
unless
up.
Unless they're enforcing. Unless they're telling you what you can and can't eat.
My description. Yeah, that's what I'm telling. They're telling you. They're going to tell you what you can and can't eat.
No, they can't do that. Because that takes away your free will.
That's what they're trying to push.
Yeah, but they can't do that.
What do you mean they're pushing it? Look, they managed to get some stained doors for fucking God knows how.
There was a disease.
Oh.
They said for your health, stay inside. And then they said you're allowed out once a day to go for a walk. So we all went out once a day. I was also out every day going to Wickes because I was allowed to go to Wickes, and going to the supermarket because I was allowed to go to the supermarket. So I didn't really stay indoors at all.
No, I didn't stay at all.
No, so no one really stayed inside.
Well, they did. Everyone did. The world did. You saw it. It was the streets were empty.
Yeah, and it was nice.
Yeah.
I wish COVID lockdown had remained because I liked the streets being that empty. There was much less prick on the road, the street wasn't for the wankers carousing around making noise. It was just a pleasant environment to see no one around. But the supermarkets was a day out. I loved it.
But if you think that virus was anything other than more dangerous than the flu, then you're silly.
Well, I never said it was more dangerous.
I'm just saying, if anyone did, do you know what I mean? I have a autoimmune disease. I was classed as one of the highest risks.
I told everybody that. Not I told everybody because it was out there. People were telling people the flu has killed more people than COVID.
Yeah, of course it has.
The flu comes around every year, and everyone gets the flu, and they go, and the COVID was just a slightly more aggressive form because it transferred through slightly different airborne.
Right, but
it had a distance, so it got. Oh no, sorry. I remember now. The difference between COVID and the flu is COVID would transfer to people that didn't necessarily present that they had COVID. Where the flu, you always get the flu and you always go, oh, I'm sick, so you stay inside. But COVID was, you could look healthy and still have it and transfer it to someone else. That's what it was getting people.
But the distance thing's a load of bollocks. A virus, if you sneeze it, it travels up to 20 feet.
If you sneeze, for sure. When you breathe, it's on certain water particles that have a weight.
But it can travel up to 20 feet.
If you sneeze, yeah, sure. But just breathing was the point of the 2 metre. Just general breathing. it's on a it's on a molecule that's heavy enough that falls at about 1.6 meters. Was the argument?
Please explain this. So in a hot country like Australia, right? You know, a virus a virus after a certain temperature becomes inactive. Yeah. So hot countries, the virus should not be spreading the way it spread.
It's not hot enough in the air to kill a virus. Denaturing happens at like 50, 60 degrees.
A virus becomes inactive after 26 degrees.
Does it?
Yeah, something like that. 26 degrees. I think it becomes inactive heat-wise. I think so. I'm gonna be wrong now.
Most denaturing occurs at about 50 to 60 degrees. That's why you boil clothes. Not boil clothes, but wash them on a hot wash to kill germs and bacteria. There are a lot of viruses that are spread in hot countries. Things like Africa and jungles and things.
Definitely.
Germs live inside your body, which is 37 degrees.
I can't remember. There's a certain temperature it becomes inactive. Maybe it's a bit higher, but I know they can't spread per a certain temperature.
Well, yeah, but viruses culture in your body, which is 37 degrees. So that's where they breed.
Yeah, so maybe sorry, a bit higher than that, yeah.
So
no, you go, look, oh no, it's just what did they say virus can't survive temperatures above 27? 28 Celsius degrees equals 82 degrees Fahrenheit.
The what?
28 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, but the what virus?
That's just COVID. Disease dies at 28 degrees. Human temperature standards, so it's just saying, yeah, infection is that. So it's probably just debunking something. I just want to read it. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember. I'm not going to read it. Yeah, no, it wasn't at 20. Someone was trying to say it was. That's why I probably read it. But yeah, so it's at a certain temperature and it stops. So I'm pretty sure a place like Australia, they got it right. The moment they had an infection, they did close down.
Yeah. Lockdown helped, COVID for sure, because it stopped people spreading. But I remember now, the point of COVID was that it would spread to people that would then not get sick, and then they could spread it on. That's why it spread so fast, because people didn't realise they had it. Also, yeah, it was a new flu that no one was used to, so the weak people and the elderly people did suffer.
Yeah, if you looked at the death toll of people actually healthy,
probably very little.
Fucking very little.
And it's funny, but my sister-in-law works for the coroner's office. Yeah. She has told me many stats about it. I can't remember them now, but but there's so many things were signed off as a COVID death.
Yeah, if basically
were not COVID,
you could have got hit by a bus, and because you had COVID, they would have put down COVID. Yeah, the death.
Like that.
Yeah.
So they thing.
Tried to do it to my great aunt. She died, and
she was like, no,
she's dead.
Sorry.
They were trying to put. I think they tried to put it down, and she died of COVID. She hadn't even been outside.
Yeah, no, it is bullshit. But
they were pushing a scare tactic. They were.
Sure, that was probably a scare tactic. It was also probably just someone being a fucking moron, and it was seen as a scare tactic.
Like, do you remember at the beginning when in China, when they were filming people dead on the street? That someone was just dead on the street, carrying away people dead in the street. But,
I don't see it.
All right, but did you know it's neighbouring town, Beijing, next to it? Do you know that
Beijing's a bit more than a town?
Well, no, their city. But where you know what I mean? Where it originated? Yeah. That's where it come from. Right. Beijing, next to it. Yeah. Right. If you looked at the coronavirus stats, nah.
What? No coronavirus.
There was barely any.
Yeah. I mean, that's right. All it took was a couple of people to take it out of the city, and then idiots spread it around the other countries, didn't they? That's what happened, and people came home from Wuhan,
whatever.
The Wuhan clan.
But yeah, it's just it's a long. There's so much push to saying all these people are dying. When it was the people that have underlying health conditions, elderly, and there's a standard thing with flu. If you looked at the flu, it kills like 41,000 in our country a year.
Yeah, yearly. I mean, the flu kills people.
And they were totting it up. But the thing is, though, we're sitting there. We went from one year to the next, and they were just totting it up. They weren't doing a yearly thing. They were just doing it as the pandemic. They didn't do it as a yearly record. Because if you did that from flu, it'd be looking at 80, 90, 100,000 people dead.
Well, that's the other thing is people, as a populace, where you have a certain resistance to the flu because it's been around so long. But then COVID is just a different flu. They're all influenza viruses.
Yeah.
So it's just a different level of flu. Anyway, it's gone now.
Yep.
It's not a thing. Those people got used to it. On to the next one.
statements.
On to the next disease.
I'm pretty sure Bill Gates said there's going to be another one.
There will be, and in another 5 or 6 years' time, someone else will have a disease that will think it's tough. Hopefully, we'll get rid of a few more idiots.